Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of Deuteronomy. We're still in chapter 5, looking at the 10 Commandments. Today we're looking at Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 21, the 10th Commandment. We've spent several days looking at the first 9, and now we'll come to the final of the 10 words, the final commandment. And it says, "You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. You shall not set your desire on your neighbor's house, or on his land, his male or female servant, his ox or his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. You shall not covet." Now, covet in its basic meaning is to desire something. But the command is not against desire. The Bible's not saying you can't desire things you don't have. It says you shall not desire that which is wrong for you to have. So, for instance, if you're a single person, there's nothing wrong with you desiring a spouse. If you're a man, there's nothing wrong with desiring a good wife. And if you're a lady, there's nothing wrong with desiring a good husband. So it's not the desire, it's the desire for what is wrong for you to have. So it's okay to desire a spouse, but it's wrong to desire someone else's spouse, for they belong to someone else. Likewise, there's nothing wrong with desiring a good home to live in. Everyone would like a good place to live where they feel secure. But it is wrong to desire someone else's home, unless they're willing to, if they got it for sale, of course. But to desire what someone else has that you don't have a right to, that is what covetousness is. So it's okay to desire appropriate things, but it's wrong to desire that which it is not your right to have, that which already belongs to someone else. So the Bible says, do not desire wrongly, or do not desire those things which it is not appropriate for you to have. Now notice the 10th commandment is different from the first 9 in the sense that it talks about the inclination of the heart. The first 9 commandments all deal with actions. You're not going to make an idol or an image. You're not going to take God's name in vain. You're not going to steal. It all has to do with actions. But the 10th commandment moves a little further along and says that it's also wrong to have the inclination of the heart be set on improper things. So, for instance, if you would never steal something, but you would like to, you'd like to take something which belongs to someone else, Jesus says, the 10 Commandments says that that's wrong too. So if you would never commit adultery, you would never be unfaithful to your spouse, but you would want to. You see, this commandment, the 10th commandment, deals with the inclination of the heart. Not only are you prohibited from doing wrong things, you should not even desire to do wrong things. Your heart must be governed. And so the 10th commandment is very comprehensive. It talks about the inclination, the intent, the desires of the heart. Do not let your heart be set on things that are wrong or that are inappropriate. Now, how can you have your heart that sanctified? Only by the grace of God. Of all the commandments to keep, probably the 10th is the hardest, because it's not an action, it's an inclination of the heart. It's a desire, a wrongful desire in the heart. And to have your heart sanctified, you're going to need the touch of God's grace. When we come to know Jesus, he can so sanctify our hearts that not only do we cease from doing wrong, but we cease from even desiring to do what is wrong. He can thus change our hearts. So to keep the 10th commandment, you're really going to need the grace of Jesus to so sanctify you and cleanse your heart that not only do you not do wrong things, but you also do not even desire to do wrong things. And so the 10th commandment says, you shall not covet. You shall not desire that which it is inappropriate for you to have. Hope you join us tomorrow. We finished the 10 Commandments now. We want to look at the rest of Deuteronomy chapter 5 in our next 5-minute Bible study in the book of Deuteronomy.